Welcome back to Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. YouTube.com is the place to go. Put Locked On Sports Atlanta in your search browser, find the page, hit subscribe, leave us a comment. Of course, we're free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Download us and leave us a 5-star review. And of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Y'all know I wear my wrestling t-shirts every day. We got word on Friday afternoon, and I said this the other night. Something happened on Friday that I never thought I would say in my lifetime, and that is Vince McMahon is not running the WWE. Now, look, I've spent my entire life, I'm 50, okay? I've spent my entire life watching wrestling. I was first watching Vince as a commentator on WWF when his dad was running the promotion, and right before it was switching hands between the old man, Vince Sr., having the promotion, and Vince Jr. buying out Vince Sr., Gorilla Monsoon, and all the partners that were part of that organization, and then turning it into the Hulk Hogan era. I've always joked that, my first champion was Bob Backlund. That's how old I am. One of my first favorite matches of all time is Don Morocco and Jimmy Snuka in the cage in Madison Square Garden, where Snuka went up on top of the cage and jumped off, and Snuka splashed him, right? That's one of my those are my early memories of wrestling. And by the way, that was Pat Patterson broadcasting with Vince during those days. So I go to the very beginning, early years of my life as far as watching WWF and Vince McMahon and everything along with it. Now, what is Vince McMahon's legacy? Is his legacy in the wrestling business, or is it in the television business? Because I will tell you, number one, in the wrestling business, there's a lot of great that Vince McMahon did. Nobody brought a global brand of wrestling the way that Vince McMahon did. To do that, though, he ran off all of his competition. He buried all of his competition, the territory system, the regional idea of what wrestling, was as a promotion. By making it national, those guys could not keep up, and he brought Hulk Hogan in. And look, by the way, if you don't know, Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan before he got to the WWF and all that. Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan up in the AWA with Vern Gagne. So Vince, if you want to say stole, okay, I understand that. But Vince poached talent and personalities from all over the country, brought it in, and made wrestling a global brand. And you can't argue with his success. He's a billionaire himself, multiple billion-dollar company, publicly traded company. What his vision of wrestling was changed the world, right? Now, it came at a big cost. You knocked out everybody else until AEW come along. And look, it took another billionaire, a guy with a lot of money, to come in and start another wrestling promotion. But by and large, he knocked out all of his competition, which is one of the things that made wrestling great, was the territory system, that you had a lot of different flavors and styles of wrestling. I have nothing bad to say about Vince McMahon. I think he's one of the most important people in the history of not just wrestling, but in television as well. Think about WWE Raw, how that has been on for going on close to 30 years that WWE, that Raw has been on TV. He's changed up wrestling on the television side of it. Now, doesn't mean it's been a great product. Doesn't mean it's always been really, really good. But Vince completely changed watching wrestling on TV. And in those Attitude Era years in 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, it was must-watch TV, right? Along with WCW Nitro. And again, that's when wrestling in my lifetime was really at its best, is when you had competition with Crockett and WCW in the 80s, and you had the competition with WCW in the late 90s. So his legacy in television is just as big to me as it is in wrestling. Talk more about this in just a second, but first, let me talk to you about my folks over at coffeeam.com. Guess what I'm drinking over here right now? I've got my Coffee AM cup of coffee. I'm starting in on the organic roast. Yes, I have to. I've already plowed through one of the bags that they sent me. Again, coffeeam.com is the place to go to find all of your coffees, teas, gift sets. You like organic coffees. You like dark roast. You like lighter roast. You like flavored coffees. I even love the smell. Let my daughter smell. She loves those flavored coffee smells. Coffeeam.com is the place to go. Best part is they are local here to Georgia. They're up in Canton. Online coffee company, the best small batch roaster of coffee in America. located right here in Georgia. So right now we've got a deal going on for our Locked On Sports Atlanta listeners. Head to coffeeam.com/locked on. Go there today. Check out the full range of coffees, teas, gift sets. Look at their full menu of products that are available to you. When you put together that first order and you get to the checkout, use that coupon code Locked On, LOCKEDON, Locked On at checkout. You'll get 15% off your first order of coffees, teas, gift sets, whatever it is that you buy. 15% off your first order simply by using the coupon code Locked On, LOCKEDON at checkout. Coffeeam.com, the best small batch coffee roaster in America. So, look, I don't have anything bad to say about Vince, and I understand the stories. And, look, I do think that there is. Here's what I know: Vince ain't headed down to Florida now to go hang out with Linda, his wife, quote unquote. Right? That ain't happening. It's a different Vince McMahon now than it was maybe in the 80s when he was legitimately a married man with younger children and this, that, and the other. Now his kids are grown. Now his daughter runs the company, right? Linda's down in Florida doing her thing. He's up in Connecticut doing his thing. Stupping secretaries and paralegals and this, that, and the other, and then paying them hush money to keep them quiet. I don't approve of what Vince McMahon did, but I'll be honest with you, I never thought that this day would happen. I never thought that the day that Vince McMahon isn't running the WWE would ever happen. He still owns about 40% of the stock. He still has about 80% of the voting share in the company because his Class A shares are, from a voting perspective, worth a lot. And by the way, too, if you don't know, do you know the Atlanta Hawks president and CEO, Steve Koonin, is on the board of directors at the WWE? But that's a little factoid a lot of you didn't know out there, that Steve Koonin is on the WWE's board. So ask him about all of that. But anyway, look, I have nothing but thank yous to say to Vince McMahon. Will wrestling be the same? Maybe it'll be better. It was announced earlier today that Triple H is going to take over creative. He was announced as the EVP of Talent Relations last week. Hopefully Triple H and his influence, because he's come up through that system. He was always a WWE fan. He was obviously there for the second round of glory days after the Hogan era, where wrestling blew up in WrestleMania 3, which is one of the most important events of all time in wrestling. Triple H was there for the whole Attitude Era. And he's also been there for, getting punished with the curtain call. He took it on the chin with Vince, in 96 when the curtain call came along. And again, you can read about the curtain call online and what it was, but that was an embarrassment to the WWE and the wrestling business at the time. And he paid a price for it. So he knows the good, the bad, the ugly of everything involved with wrestling. But he's a guy who came up through the business. He's a guy that's been around forever and a day. Hopefully the actual on television, on camera product will be much better. But I say thank you to Vince McMahon for all of the entertainment and the joy and the happiness and the laughs and the fun and everything. It still influences me today, right? Again, you guys see me with these wrestling shirts every single day if you watch the show on YouTube, right? If you watch the show, you see me with a different one every day. NWO, Austin 316, what have you. That there was a time when we talk about all these shows, the Breaking Bads and I don't know, whatever, The Wire and what's the Sopranos and all these must-watch shows. Can I tell you, in 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, for most males 18 to 54, the ultimate demo, for most males, what was must-watch TV was WWF Raw, Raw's War, and WCW Nitro. That was must-watch TV. Before The Sopranos, before The Wire, before Breaking Bad, anything like that. What was must-watch TV was Monday night, flipping between Nitro and Raw, and all the great memories that came along with it. From Hogan to Savage to Rock to Austin, all of the great memories that are there because Vince McMahon was a visionary. There's a lot of negatives about Vince McMahon and his business practices and what he did, holding back WCW from being on pay-per-view and holding the pay-per-view companies hostage. Look, the way he acquired the WWF from his dad is also a shady dealing. That he took the company profits to pay for it. He basically paid his dad, but he stiffed some of the other people. Again, he's a businessman. He's a billionaire businessman. But again, what Vince did was change the world from an entertainment perspective. We may have lost some wrestling for it, but from an entertainment perspective, there's no doubt that some of the best memories of all time come through WWF television. All right, thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make A to Z with Mark Zinno your second listen every day. Mark's back talking all things Atlanta sports, opinions you may not like, but you've got to hear. Free and available on our YouTube page, Locked On Sports Atlanta. Also free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Follow me on my Twitter page at JMCH316. Back with you tomorrow. It's been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.